Fernando Silva. You never heard the name, have you? Some of you might have. In case you haven't, let me tell you about my dear friend Fernando Silva. Today is August 20th, and many of you may or may not know that I record the episodes before they air, obviously, to edit out all the glitches. So, that being said, today is National Radio Day. That's right, Radio Day. Congrats to all the guys that still are in radio, and the guys that have been in radio that just chose to give it up. So, what does this have to do with Fern? That's what I call him, Fern, or Fernando, or Nando. Well, back in the mid-'80s, I believe, Fernando was kind of like my sidekick, if you will, on the KYST morning show, featuring AC, Chico, and Bruce. It was crazy. I did mornings at KYST, and I met a guy who was a comedian named Johnny Thomas, Johnny Roman. So Johnny would do all these kind of voices. We grew in popularity with the ratings and what have you. But when a client wanted us to be at their dealership or their club, whatever, we needed a Chico, because Chico, it was done by Johnny. So who better than to ask my neighbor that I just met, Fernando Silva. So he was dressed like a cholo, Pachuco Chica. It was great. One morning, we were having fun doing our stupid shit on the radio, and the FCC, FCC comes in, and the offices were downstairs. The studios were upstairs. So we get a page from downstairs saying, hey, the FCC's here. And I said, have y'all gotten a hold of the engineer? Daviandi, another guy that I hope to get on the show. So by this time, we were freaking out. And Johnny says, I te guacho, I'm out of here. The guy took off. Fernando, Chico, grabbed the nearest broom and started sweeping, pretending he was a janitor. So by the time the FCC gets upstairs, I'm the only one that is in the control room, right? So, FCC, do you have all the documents, all the licenses, blah, blah, blah? I showed him everything, and he says, what about your license? Now, it was stupid of me. It was stupid of me. I didn't have a license, man. And I said, yeah, give me a minute. I live right across the street from the Astrodome. Yes, and it was across the street from the Astrodome. I said, let me go home, get it. I'll be right back. Okay, cool. By this time, it was like 10 o'clock, and my relief came in to do middays. So I said, I'll be right back. No, hombre, me valía madre, man. I swear to God, I didn't forget. I just went home and crashed out. I slept. So by the time I woke up was pretty much about the afternoon. I get back to the station, and Dave Biondi, who's our chief engineer, this was before being at radio. Anyway, me regañó, cacho. He says, man, do you know how much you could have cost this station its license because you're on the air without a license? Because back then, you had to have a license. The FCC required you to have a license to be on the air. And I did not have one. So, needless to say, Dave Biondi saved my ass with the FCC. And Chico and Bruce, quién sabe. Solo que esos dos se pelaron. Anyway, happy National Radio Day. And to all you broadcasters turned podcasters like me, what up, what up, what up? I'm AC Cruz, and this is my podcast.
On the next AC Cruz podcast.
Ahora sí, vamos ahí. Salud.
Salud.
¿Qué estás tomando? What do you got?
Michelob Ultra Pure Gold.
Mira nomás.
Salud, bro.
Igual. So, how was your interview last night? Was there anything to be nervous about?
No, just the old nerves about speaking Spanish.
The whole thing was done in Spanish?
The whole thing, man. Y me avienté, if I do say so myself.
Míralo. Hey, do me a favor. Look at your camera.
Orale, that's better.
Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So,
I just can't see you.
That's cool. You can't see me?
No, I'm clear.
Anyway, Fernando Silva, first of all, I was thinking about how am I going to start this off. I said, maybe the story about my motorcycle, or maybe the time that he says that I was scoping his chick out. Puro pedo, chica. Because I'll be honest with you. I'm just moved in, and you were across the way, breezeway, from my father's apartment, and I was doing laundry. Your girlfriend was doing laundry, and I was just being friendly, as I always am. And she went back and told you that there's a guy in there hitting on me. Cause she, nah, man.
No, bro. What happened? I seen her. She was walking towards me, and I seen you. Like, I would say you were checking her out, but you definitely were checking her out.
No, but I was jealous of her, man. I forget. Her hair was higher than mine. She had big ass hair, man.
Yeah, that was the '80s, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all had long hair, man.
Yeah, I had some hair back then too.
No doubt, no doubt. I want to let the listeners, the subscribers, know that you and I go way, way back. I was 18. You were how? 19, 20?
20. 2021 when we first met.
And we met, believe it or not, aside from the apartments there in Houston, which, by the way, was right across from the, what's it called?
NRG Stadium.
Yes. On Kirby and 610, right?
610, yeah.
Yeah. And the radio station was like the north side of the Astrodome.
Yeah.
8181 North Stadium Drive.
North Stadium Drive.
Yeah. Anyway, we met at an award show there in Houston. This kind of gets, I don't know, it's questionable. Check this out. Miko was on the podcast a while back. You know, remember Miko, of course.
Of course.
He says we met in the bathroom. Hey, look at you, yeah, we met in the bathroom.
Yeah. We gotta stop being like this.
No, dude, I'm telling you, man. What the hell, right? Bathrooms anyway. So
yeah,
that's how we really officially met, no?
Yeah. Some guy was trying to lecture you on or why didn't KYC play their music or something
Airplane,
like that.
Airplane, yeah.
And you came up to me knowing that I think we got some awards that day with the fantasy band, and you said something to the effect, "Don't ever become like that. Don't ever do that." Do you remember that?
Not really, but I do remember you telling me that. But anyway,
yeah,
brother, it's so good to see you. Finally, how long have we been planning this, man?
I'd say at least a year.
At least.
Year and a half. I'll take the blame for that because I wanted to wait until I had something to promote. And
Look,
que pasa, the COVID hit, man. Si te acuerdas, and
yep,
the recording kept getting delayed and más delayed, and I'm like, well. And then, bendito sea Dios, we got it done, man, and here we are.
Let's talk about the road it took to get to where you are right now, man. It was a long, arduous road, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say, to say the least, but you know, God is good, man, and I have no regrets. All the setbacks and everything, it made me who I am today, and I'm really happy with who I am. And if you want to talk details and stuff, where do I begin?
Where do you begin? Well, first of all, I freaked out. Like I told Carla Cristina, I don't like looking at bios, but because I know so much about you. You know what? I don't need a bio, but send me some bullet points. What do you call them?
Puntas de balas.
Puntas de balas. So, but check this out, though. I did not know you were from Cerralbo.
Yeah. I was about to say born and raised, but no, I was just born there. But really didn't spend any amount of time that I can remember there. Desde chiquito me llevaron para Califas, and I was there my first, I don't know, 2-3 years before we moved down to Houston. I think I was 4 years old. We moved to California when I was a baby. I mean, literally in Pampers or little Pampers, diapers. And I
was about to say, you're not that young, damn.
Yeah, right. So no, we came to Houston when I was 5 years old from California. And let me see. I started playing music at age 11, and
what was your first instrument?
My first instrument was the skola. I was doing the Beatles, and I was
I know.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. No, but I played the trumpet when I was 11 years old. I did okay. I got first chair my last year of junior high, but then I discovered the guitar. My mama, God rest her soul, she bought me a guitar from Spiegel Catalog. I don't know if you remember Spiegel Catalog.
Yes.
So she got me a guitar, and no, it was over. I started buying all kinds of books to teach myself how to play.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was all rock, wasn't it?
Oh, heck yeah. It was heavy metal, Kiss, Zeppelin, Foghat. And I learned quickly, man. I want to say by the time I got to high school, I was proficient in rock. But lo que es, I guess people call it heavy metal now, but I was self-taught, so I had a lot of hangups that to this day I still do. Never was formally trained or taught, but I hold my own even then. The thing is, I enjoyed that time of my life very much, and the Tejano music didn't really come into my life until I graduated high school.
Milby?
When I Austin High School, Mustangs, 81. 81 sounds like forever ago. And yeah, a buddy of mine, Frankie Rodriguez, was still rocking today. He asked me to go ahead and help him out in the gig. And I said, man, I don't know Spanish, man. I don't like it. But something about Tejanas, man, when they see you strapped on the guitar and singing and that the great motivation from year one, man, from day one.
Real quick, is that door locked? Because I don't want your wife walking in on us and you talking about Tejanas. No mames. No, seriously, man.
Ain't no story she ain't heard, man.
Okay, cool, right on.
Yeah. She's still gonna send you a bill, she said.
I love your wife, man. She's badass. Real quick, so you started in high school and it was like Tejano. I want to let the listeners know that you've written songs for Bobby Pulido, Fiebre, Fama, obviously David O, but we'll get to that in a minute, and a lot more. But you started playing Tejano in high school, and then that took you into that path, right?
Well, no, after high school. In high school, it was more rock and a little bit of, believe it or not, disco. And it wasn't until I graduated from high school that I came back from Oklahoma. I spent a year in Oklahoma going to Job Corps over there. When I got home, my buddies who used to rock out with me were all playing Tejano. So I would go check them out. And I thought, man, let me tell you, AC, the first Tejano show I ever went to was your daddy's place. And guess who was playing? La Movida.
Oh, wow. Ricky Smith, right?
Ricky Smith, man. That's my first Tejano show. And I see this dude, blonde, rock and roll, hippie type. And he was rocking, man. He was rocking the Les Paul. And I said, man, I can do that. I can do that. And that was kind of my inspiration, man. I said, yeah, I can rock the guitar, still, my rock and roll roots and play Tejano music. Back then we called it Chicano music.
Yeah.
And so that was my inspiration. I thought if he can do it, I can do it. And it wasn't an easy transition, but I'm sure glad I made it because as it turned out, Tejano's the love of my life, man. I love Tejano. I love every aspect of it.
Didn't you have a nephew or cousin that was a drummer?
Yes, in Fantasy Band, my first real Tejano band, Luis Escobedo.
Yeah.
He played drums. You remember him?
Yeah, how's he doing, man?
Good. He's doing well, and I don't think he's playing anymore. I really haven't kept up with him too much. I see him like at family reunions and such, man. But
right.
But he's doing his own thing, and maybe he is playing drums. I don't know. In fact, I think I'm going to call him. We're having a reunion pretty soon, a couple of weeks.
Well, tell us what's up, man.
Yeah, I will. We'll do.
Hey, so then after that, what was next?
Fantasy Band. Let me see. After Fantasy Band, oh man, I left Fantasy Band at the age of 22. Right, more or less when I met you. I think.
No me eches la culpa, por favor, mano.
No. La culpa es mía. I can say this. Nobody is in my family isn't aware, or this isn't a secret. I became. I don't want to say drug addict sounds so bad, but that's indeed what I was. I mean, Since the age of 12, I was abusing marijuana and alcohol. And so I think I mentioned to you, I think you already knew, from the age of 22 to 26, I was in lots of bands. I don't know, lots, maybe 4 or 5 bands, nothing that made any real noise. That was until I checked myself into the hospital to get sober after my first baby was born, Angel. And I got to tell everybody, my buddy here, AC, when I was, well, I mean, not technically locked up, but yeah, they take you away in the hospital for 30 days and get you sober. And you, my brother, you were the only one that came visit. And it was refreshing. It gave me hope, man. Because I was isolated in there, away from family and friends, and you came to visit me, you and your girlfriend at the time. That was very special.
I did, but here's the deal: I didn't know that till you told me afterwards. Years later, you told me
that you were the only ones that came visit.
Yeah. I didn't realize that, man.
Well, yeah, that's ingrained in me. I'm never gonna forget that. So. And after the hospital stint, I really believed that I was, good to stay clean and sober. But what they tell you when you're doing any kind of rehab, that you got to get rid of your old friends, you got to, old habits, you got to stay away from the scenes you used to hang out with. And they really told me to stay away from the music scene, to don't play music anymore, because it's going to lead you down the spiral. And you're going to wind up doing drugs again or what have you. And that's brings me up to Suave. I had the lead singer of Suave with Mr. Sal Ledesma. I had previously played with him in Fantasy Band. And so he asked me to join Suave. And I told him no, because I was afraid. They told me that I couldn't play music. And he looked me square in the eye. He says, Fernando, I've never done drugs in my life, and I don't drink at all. So if you join my band, we'll take care of you. And that was the door that I needed. The opportunity arose. I took it. I took a chance because I was scared, man. I thought, once I strap on the guitar again, I'm gonna go loco with the drugs again. But no, bendito sea Dios. I've celebrated over 30-something years now. No drugs in my system. Me echo una cheve o dos o tres.
I was about to say, how is that possible if you drink an alcoholic beverage or algo así? I mean, you obviously drink every now and again, right?
Yes, no, it's not. The frame of mind isn't the same. Back then, you wanted to party, you wanted to feel that edge. Now, I just want to relax. And drinking didn't come back to me right away. I spent almost 7 years totally dry because I was afraid to drink any kind of alcohol. Para decirte que I could even take any kind of cough syrup or mouthwash. Everything had to be 100% alcohol free, because that's what the doctors told me, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
Hey, sabes, when I started drinking again was getting a little ahead of myself, but
I know
when I started playing with David O.
Yeah, with David O.
Fuimos a Mexico. Yeah. When we started going to Mexico, apparently I was offending a lot of important VIP people that were offering me beer, and I kept turning them down, and it was no big deal. Like I'll say no, thank you, no, thank you. Like cultura de Mexico, you have to accept it, or es una, how you say,
offended.
They get offended, and this is when we were like doing really well over there, beginning to do really well, and I thought I was messing it up for everybody, so. I said, well, let's see what happens. I didn't want to ruin it for everyone. So I talked to my compadres, David and Michael, and I said, hey, I'm going to drink. Just keep an eye on me that I don't go berserk. And ever since then, I probably drink 1 beer or 2 beers a week.
Yeah. Unlike me, a beer every day. But I don't get trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I believe it.
You know me too well. But listen, when you mentioned David O, before you get to David O, when did you leave Suave?
I started with Suave, like I said, right out of the hospital in '89. And it wasn't until '92 that we signed our first record deal with Sony Records when they switched over from CBS becoming Sony, and that was a big deal. So I had to let go of my quote unquote day job at UPS. Man, that was harsh.
Oh
I did.
man. On a
Yeah.
side note, and I gotta let these subscribers know that I used to go do the morning show at 6 in the morning, and I get out at 10 or 11, and I would wait around, see if they had any more work for me to do. And I was out by 11, noon, whatever. And you got off work from UPS at about what time?
The second shift about 10 in the morning.
And then morning, so you and I would sit there in your apartment drinking.
Get drunk.
No. We wouldn't get drunk. We go have breakfast. We start drinking, and we go to Malibu Grand Prix Raceway, man.
Yeah, we were drunk, dude. Come on.
And the guy says to me, "Look, I know you guys been drinking, but keep the cars on the track."
At least we did, right? At least we tried.
We tried anyway, man.
Oh man.
So UPS, you quit,
Yeah.
and you went on the road.
Yes, I had to quit UPS and go on the road with Suave, and we did really well. Todos los días del año did really well at that time. We were opening, we were on the road with La Mafia, who produced us under Voltage Records, and so we were on the road quite a bit with them. And we went ahead and did our second CD a year later, and that had Carita de Ángel, and it did really well, especially in West Texas. They absolutely loved us. Pero como pasan las cosas, the band broke up suddenly, you know, and I'm like, wow, what do I do now? It's like I left UPS to go on the road for Sony Records with Suave, and now it's like I don't have either. So I said, you know what the heck, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and settle down. I'm done with music. I'm done, you know. So I decided to get married with my beautiful wife of 27 years. I went ahead and got married with her, and I thought I was done. And until David's people came around, David still hadn't released any record. Nobody knew who he was. I certainly didn't know who he was. And called me up, and I kept refusing his call until one day I took it by accident because I thought it was my nephew David calling me. And I took his call, and by this time in my adult life, I had not gone a whole month without playing music somewhere, some gig, or even just at a party, what have you. But this time it's already been 3 months, and I'm jonesing, man. I really got a gig, but I was determined not to play anymore. But so long story longer.
Who said that? Wonder who.
I took the call, and I gave them all kinds of reasons why I couldn't join, but they countered, and I went ahead and visited them, and man, I fell in love with the sound, and I struck a deal with David's dad. If I was to join, that I wanted to be able to record and produce, which is something I omitted from Suave, because when I played with Suave, we would play my songs, my written songs on stage. But when it came time to record, they opted for quote unquote professional songwriters. So I didn't get a shot, man. And it's and my argument was, look, we play them live and all the people like them, you know, and they said, yeah, but we need to, you know, be 100% sure that the record's are going to be a success. And so that was my frustration. But when I got with David O, they agreed. It wasn't like I put my terms down and this is my way or no way. No, they were quite welcoming, and they were happy to learn that I wrote songs. And
you wrote songs. You wrote hit songs, man. Hit songs, man.
We didn't know at the time, and I'm sure they didn't know. I didn't know.
Soñador, Ven Conmigo. Come on.
Aquí está, no te vayas, me estoy enamorando. I mean, we did well with David O, and he did well. He's still doing well, you know. And
wait. You say he's still doing well.
Yeah.
How much truth is there to the fact that there is going to be a reunion with the original Excess band?
Well, 100% true. Let me first state that we are friends again. But there was as often happens in this business, you know, the bands break up, but they're like divorces, man. It's like there's a good party and a bad party, and we were no exception. We had bad vibes when we broke up.
You and David?
Me and David and everybody and David actually, because he went on by himself and pretty much left us out. I'm not gonna go there. It wasn't like it was amicable. That's the bottom line. It wasn't amicable. But as time heals all wounds, and some 15 years later of not speaking to each other, he shows up at one of my shows, and he just commenced to talking, and I was grateful, man. He opened up, and I opened up, and we talked about it a little bit, and we've been friends ever since. I love the guy. I mean, there's no way around it. When you spend so much time with someone, even though it truly is like family, and even though family members also get hurt and get emotional or get angry with each other, it's no different, you know, when you're playing with guys so many days out the year. Anyway, so yes, coming back to the point, you asking if we were going to get back together with the original Excess, it was his idea of mine. We were having dinner about a couple of months ago, and I think Michael Martinez, the keyboard player, he asked David, "Hey, you want to get together and do a gig?" You know, and he said, "Sure, man." But the thought was to just do a small party here in Houston. But David said, we got to do it in Mexico, because that's where,
hell yeah,
you know, it's Monterrey, Mexico is like I don't know, the New York, I guess, of Mexico, or I should say the Nashville. And what I'm trying to say is Monterrey is where all the music happens, and we just so happened to hit stride when Tejano was king over there, or over here for that matter. And I said, David, if you want to do it in Monterey, I was apprehensive because it's been so long since I'd been playing over there. Since I played, my last gig in Mexico was in '97, so we're talking 25 years.
Was that the Acapulco show?
It sure was. Fiesta Acapulco '97, and we went ahead and decided we're going to do it in Mexico, but he's got these contracts he still needs to fulfill, and he has a really good band right now. He has a band in Mexico, he has a band here, different guys, but they're all 100% really good musicians. But what I'm getting at is I was apprehensive because I didn't think the people of Monterey would receive us, a bunch of old fogies, bunch of has-beens, if you will. Why would they want to see the original Excess if they still have David and they still have good musicians? But I asked around. I still have a lot of good contacts. I have familia over there, and I asked them, and they said, "Oh, heck yeah, we want to see the original lineup." And it looks like it's happening, but
very cool, man.
I just don't know. I can't give you a date. Everybody wants to know a date. I don't know.
That's all right. That's all right. But listen, speaking of El Soñador, how did you come across that song? What made you write that song? And I mean, please tell me.
Well, Soñador, it was kind of an afterthought. What I mean by that, I literally am you know me. See, I'm a dreamer. I thought I'd try my luck at writing about that in Spanish, which is, even though I was born in Mexico, that I didn't grow up speaking Spanish except with my parents and stuff, and so I still struggle with Spanish. In fact, the first Spanish songs that I've ever written, my sisters who do speak Spanish well would correct them and always tell them, "Hey, this is wrong and this is wrong." But anyway, Soñador,
we're great. I love the song Maria. Maria is,
oh man,
it was written to a girl, and her name was not Maria. You thought it was, though, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, my wife knows this story. I was dating a girl named Terry, and who we still friends. She's my baby's mother, and anyway, so the first time I visited her house, she was we were loud in the living room, and her mom just started yelling, "Maria, Maria, Maria." And finally, Terry gets up and says, "What?" But she wasn't answering like that was her name. She was answering. Her mom was calling her sister, who is named Maria. And So, like a menso, I wrote a song called Maria, thinking it was her name, and it wasn't.
It was. Get
Hey,
back.
but it's a
Go
good
ahead.
song though.
Yeah, it was a good song. It was a good song. Getting back to El Soñador.
Soñador. I'm going to share a secret that a lot of people. The way I take a melody is I hum, and then I add the words. And something came to mind. I don't know if you remember Bonnie Tyler's "It's a Heartache."
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
heartache.
Yes.
And that became Si tu me lo pidieras. And I'm like, hey, that works, And it wasn't really, I mean, every song has its mama. I like to say they're written because or thinking of someone. Well, this is no different. But I'm going to plead the fifth on that one because it's really is inspired by an old melody and whoever I was surrounded with at the time. So I really want to thank God for giving me this ability to just put myself in other people's shoes and imagine their situation, and that's how that was born.
A lot of groups that are just coming up, they tend to play that song.
Yes. I for the longest time that was kind of a not necessarily a pet peeve. I was happy that they were doing it. I was happy that it did so well. It got a life on its own. Of course, David still played it, but people, because they hear the song so much, assume that I was just rolling in the money, man. And the truth of the matter was no, because we recorded that song under Fonovisa Tejano, a record company that no longer exists. In fact, ceased to exist almost as soon as the band broke up. So there was no income. That there was no sale revenues. And then the internet came.
YouTube.
Like a year. YouTube.
Did you get royalties from YouTube?
You know what? Good question. Yes, but not until maybe a year ago. So for 15, 20 some odd years, that song has been playing on YouTube, and I didn't see any of it.
And
so,
now you do?
Now I do.
Okay, so now I get my motorcycle?
Are we going to go there, AC? No, hombre. Do you want to tell the story or you want me to tell the story?
Well, I'll tell half of it. You tell the other half. Okay.
Okay. Dale chai.
I've talked about this on the podcast before. Sonny Osuna was nice enough to let me literally like $300 because I had $500 and I bought this motorcycle for $800. Badass. I love my bike. I was cruising all over town with this motorcycle. And one morning, my girlfriend asked me, can you and Fernando, because he had a truck, can you take some of this stuff to her sister's house? She's going to have a garage sale. Okay, cool. We loaded up the stuff in your truck and you said, hey, can I ride your bike? I said, do you know how?
No.
Oh, wait, please tell me then.
Okay. I had told you because I was so afraid of motorcycles, man, because of an incident when I was a kid. And you know this, I can tell you, no, see, I'm not going to ride with you. In fact, it looked kind of funny if I was to ride with you.
You riding bitch, but go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the B word, but you went ahead. So I didn't want to ride with you, besides the fact that I was afraid of. Pero como ya comentamos, we were drinking and maybe doing some other things.
On a Saturday morning.
On a Saturday morning. And then it got to the point where I was, AZ, let me ride it, bro. El que tenía miedo wanted to ride it. And I think I got around half a block.
Not even. The street was kind of curved, so you ran straight into the curb. You went over the handlebars.
Yeah, I flew. The witnesses said I flew like 30 feet, man. And what the funny part was that, and this is according to what they were telling me, apparently the front tire was underneath the gas tank, but I couldn't see it. So I tried to prop up the motorcycle and kickstart it again. And the people around me were just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to take the motorcycle back." He says, "This bike ain't going nowhere. Look at the tire."
Well, when I got that, I said, "Gee, wow, Nando, what the hell?" Anyway, long story longer.
But I blame you.
Made sure he was okay. Everyone was okay. And I said, "Dude, what the hell?" He said, "No, don't worry about that, man. Because one day I'm going to write a hit song. I'll buy 2 or 3 bikes. Estoy en my mouth."
I don't remember that.
Yeah, of course you don't. Anyway, so finally, El Soñador, you're making some money, man.
Yes, finally. Bendito sea Dios. It's coming in, but I mean, it's not what one would imagine. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy that so many people have accepted it, both sides of the border, and maybe even according to my ASCAP printouts all over the world. AC. There's people in Africa and Canada and stuff that
tell my subscribers what is ASCAP.
ASCAP. What they do is it's an entity that monitors airplay, even restaurants, TV stations. They monitor for your songs. Like if anyone ever sang my song at a bar, if they have an ASCAP on the sticker, they have to pay royalties to ASCAP, and ASCAP pays me. But that wasn't enforced for the longest, especially through YouTube, as we already touched. But ASCAP basically monitors the airwaves, be it internet, broadcast, television, or dining places like that. But it's not only ASCAP. There's BMI, and I believe there's another one called CSAC as well.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
So now you are done with David. What happened after that? Where did you go?
After David, I decided I was going to go ahead and start my own band. So basically, I had excess. I had all the musicians that were David Olivarez in excess, except for David. And I asked several musicians to try out. And I'm sure you remember Inocencia, my buddy Juan Manuel Gonzalez, used to be a vocalist.
Yeah.
He sang for us. We recorded a few songs that never made it to air. For whatever reason. I mean, the band was phenomenal. What can I say? And the vocalist, Olvídate, we had some good music. But as fate would have it, it wasn't to be. So a year after that, and this is where it gets kind of touchy, brother. I don't mind saying I can speak it now. But in 1998, my wife and I lost our child. That was absolutely the darkest chapter of my existence. And I want to, how do I say this? There's no way to describe the feeling of losing a child. When you lose your parent, that's kind of expected. When you lose a sibling, well, not as much, but it happens. But when you lose a child, people say that when you have a child, it changes your life.
Sure.
When you lose a child, and it's my prayer that none of y'all go through this. When you lose a child, it changes your existence. Everything changes. Nothing matters anymore. But
excuse me, Nando, is this Terry or with your current wife?
No, with Anna, with my current wife, our second baby. We had Christian first in 95, and Celeste was born in 98. Healthy baby, beautiful, bouncing baby. And she was with us 2 months. And, we don't know why, but I'll tell you what, maybe, I don't want to say it was meant to be. That's just not right. But God knows what He's doing, and I used to question that, and I don't anymore, because I've come to accept my Lord and Savior as Jesus Christ, and He has a plan for me. And unless you've been in my shoes, seeing like the glory that one wants to believe he's surrounded in on earth, and it's fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's not real. It becomes real when you least expect it. And I have to believe, and I do believe wholeheartedly that I will see her again, and I can't wait.
Yeah. Now, not many people know this about me, but you and I, we talk often, sometimes too often. You could ask your wife. You and I talk God.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about religion.
Well, I believe wholeheartedly that we are all we have our own destination. We all seek God, even though we're not aware of it, and it manifests itself in the things we do. God is love, and God is true. Whatever is real, it is God. Anything phony is not God. He said himself, I am the truth of life. And I believe that when I see, like, I can see UAC and I see God, believe it or not. I do.
People,
Okay,
some
no,
people
you're
would
laughing.
disagree, but go ahead.
Well, a lot of people disagree when they see me. You know, it's. I don't want to make this too heavy, but
No, I
this
understand.
is my belief. We have God's spirit within us. We just have to let it shine. And this little light of mine has.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
let it shine. Well, this is so true, though. It's so true. And once you come to terms with that, when I was in AA, if you recall, they said the only thing you have to know about God is that you're not Him, right?
There you go.
Well, it took me forever to try to control my surroundings, my situations, the dealings with the mishaps with music, the mishaps with love life, the mishaps with finances, and I'm trying to control it. And you know, once I let go and let God, everything changed. I mean, AC, you've known me for what, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen me this happy?
No, I have not. To be honest with you, no.
Well, you know, there's been some shining moments, yeah, of course, but I've never, ever, ever been this happy. And I think that comes from the peace from within. I'm on a journey, and that's the word I was looking for. We're all on our journey, even though some people don't realize it. I didn't realize it forever, you know. And when I first had a notion that, hey, maybe God is calling me to do this, that became a turning point in my life where I began fiercely seeking God, and in a manner where nothing else mattered. And I made full circle because I went searching for, as that old song says, I'm looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Well, that holds true when you, most people, when they have a religious conversion, they go nuts, man. And I mean that with all respect. But
yeah,
you know, we all know those people who go nuts and nothing, you know, they become holy rollers and holier than thou. And
yes.
I'd like to believe that I'm not that person because I am not holy.
Well,
I seek holiness, but I'm not holy.
I will tell you this though, when I talk to you, it's like I'm talking to my old friend Fernando without all the cussing and everything else. But no, I'm serious, man. I will tell you this though, I didn't realize that when I left Houston and went down to the valley, you and my father became close, man.
Yeah. He actually took me under his wings, man.
And my father also became closer to God.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I saw that, and I didn't understand it at the time, you know, but I do now, and I can see myself. I can see, you know, I can recognize what he was going through, must have been going through at that time. Your father was a mentor. You don't have to tell me how great a man he was. And I loved him, and I believe he knew it, and you know it. Your brothers knew it. Your sister knew it, and he made me feel part of the family. And I like to leave it at that because I said, "Chia, bro." So anyway, so yes, and that brings me up to my new music because well, I formed a band, a project, if you will, because all my guys play for different bands. But when I ask them, you know, let's make some music, they're there. I'll mention them real quick. My band is called AMOR TEJANO. We have several songs on the air on YouTube and such, and we just released our latest single that's took forever to release because of COVID, because of what have you. I'd like to mention a good friend of yours and mine, Mr. Jesse Jumpin' Jess Rodriguez.
Yes.
Well, this man came out of nowhere because when I first started Amor Tejano, I was on that quest. Like I said, I wanted to find God, and I thought I could find it in my music, and I did to a certain extent. I wrote a couple of songs that did well. Mi Oración was the first release. Entra mi corazón. They did fairly well, but then something happened that really shattered that whole drive that we had going, because I got, as you well know, I suffer from chronic spinal stenosis, and I didn't even know what that was. And that debilitates me, man. I can only walk for so long. I can't stand in one place for a long time. So needless to say, my guitar playing days I thought were over. I ballooned up to almost 300 something pounds, man.
Wow.
And yeah, all because I like mobility. And I've always been an athlete. But I've done many things that most people, I'm talking about as far as athleticism, that people wouldn't believe that I do, that I would have done, and I did, and I'm proud of that. But see, I'm getting off track here. I believe that Jesse is God's answer to why there was a stall. When Amor Tejano released their first 2 CDs, I lost my job, and I believe it's because of my back. I kept missing days at work, and that was a good job, working for a telecom company. And so while I was financing all the music and all the recording time and the videos and such, when I lost my job, I lost my income, and it was substantial loss. And so I thought my music career once again was over. But moved forward 3 years, from 2017 to 2020. That's what, 3 years. And Jumpin' Jess calls me, and he says, Fernando, and I've known him forever, but we didn't have like a really tight relationship, but we knew each other. And he called me up, and he goes, did you write these 2 songs that I found on YouTube? Apparently these 2 songs touched him deeply, deeply, that he felt compelled to call me and ask me to keep on. He asked me first, why wasn't I continuing that ministry? And I said, well, brother, to tell you the truth, I can't afford it. I no longer work. I'm on disability and Social Security, and I just can't fund. It was a labor of love. I didn't expect to get rich by no means, but I wanted to do it as a labor of love. And Jumpin' Jess says, you know what? If you have some more songs in you, I'd like to produce you, and I'll finance everything. Wow. And I said, well, thank you, but I'm not going to let you do that. I don't take charity, and not that I'm proud or anything. It's just a huge expense.
Sure.
And what I did, I suggested, hey, if I'll make you a partner for this venture, and then everything that we earn goes back to you, and it like that. We made a deal. And that was in 2020, right? So guess what happens? COVID,
yeah, of course.
So we can't get into the studio. We all quarantined.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys were going to do something with Que Paz Descanse, Bob Garza.
Amen. That's true. He actually was another person who fell in love with Mi Oración, my first song. And via Jesse Rodriguez, Jumpin' Jess, he told me, hey, Bob Gallarza really digs this song and he wants to do it. And I was, what?
Yeah, can you imagine?
Bob Gallarza?
It's the Bob Gallarza, that's it, man.
And I'm like, Lord, this is amazing. This is truly amazing grace. As fate would have it, it wasn't to be. I knew he was sick. Maybe that's why he was seeking the Lord. I don't know, but I'm sure glad that at the end he was seeking God, and hopefully, I believe he found him. Yes, it was an amazing time in my life where all this was falling into place. But moved forward a couple of years, and finally we get everything done. We actually stopped recording. We finished recording 7-8 months ago, and for whatever reason, the wheels just weren't turning. Studio problems and such, but it finally came to fruition. We released our latest single, Amor Divina Creación, was released last Friday on the 12th. And we're all excited about it. We're going to shoot a video pretty soon. We wanted to do it, but again, everybody's busy with other bands. And that's okay. It's not my time; it's God's time, and I've learned to be patient, if nothing else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, man.
And it's happening. But I want to take the time real quick to acknowledge a dear friend of mine, Carlos Villegas. This gentleman who actually sings one of my other biggest songs, "Dicen por ahí." When he and I got together for the first time, like you mentioned, I had a whole album set up, ready to release. But when my daughter died, it all went to the back burner. That was in 2018. 1998. In 2000, Carlos. I asked Carlos to sing a song for me that I still write songs and I need a singer. I'm no singer, so. And he said yes, he was going to record a song for me. But he fell in love with the song and he says, "Why don't you let me record this?" And I said, "Well, let's make a deal." I actually gave him my whole project, 8 songs that I was going to record with my band. I produced his first record recording, and pretty much all of my songs, and even the songs that I didn't write, I had packaged already and arranged them and such. So when this venture took hold, I had aspirations of becoming, the great producer, and this is gonna make me what I thought I was gonna be as a musician, and that didn't happen. Life slapped me, and I went down hard for the count. And actually, Carlos went ahead and as he should have, and moved forward without me. And
this is Negami, right?
Right. It was Latin Image at the time.
Yes.
And I actually came up with that name, Negami, because different record companies that I had been talking to wanted a new band. They didn't want not that Latin Image was bad, but they wanted a new storyline, a new creation. And I suggested all kinds of names, and the only one that stuck was Negami, because that's basically Imagen backwards. And Carlos loved it, and he ran with it, and he's still running with it. Praise God.
And correct me if I'm wrong, man, he kicks ass in Monterrey as well.
Yes, imagine that. I was listening to an interview. They were interviewing him, and they told him the story how when David Olivarez came to Monterrey, he took over that town, and that song "Soñador" was king until Carlos came with Negami and Dicen por ahí with Ricky. Help me out, hometown boys. Ricky Martinez. Man, yeah. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Anyway, so when he told Carlos that, I'm like, my God, the 2 biggest songs in the history of Monterrey are mine. And I'm like, this is incredible. But praise God, it happened. And long story longer, again, to quote a great mind, I was a little upset that he was doing so well without me, because I felt like I needed a place in that realm, in that entity. And then when I saw the success he was having, that was rivaling, if not surpassing, the success that we had, I came to terms with it, because I prayed about it, and it seemed, well, it was meant to be. And who am I to stand in the will of God, So
yeah,
there's such a relief, such a peace in letting go of anger. I come to realize that anger is basically just hurt feelings and uncertainty. That equals anger to me. Like when someone turns off the light, they're afraid. They're afraid, not because it's dark, because they're not sure what's out there, right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing with any kind of problems. When they tell you got cancer, or you got this, or you got that, fear sets in, and fear is basically just. You go through the phases of anger and all that, but I made a decision not to be angry at anything. Of course, do I get angry in spurts? Yes, but I just don't hold it in anymore. I let go and I let God, and hopefully somebody can listen to that and take a little bit of this old man's advice, because there's such a peace that comes with letting go and letting God, and I'm living proof.
Letting go and letting God.
Amen.
I dig that. Fernando, man, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's been a long time coming, but you finally did it with me, man.
Well, I just want to thank you, brother. You know I love you, and I'm here for you. And let's see what happens, man. Moving forward, I'm excited about the other shows.
I want to thank you because you said when I first started this podcast, you never cease to amaze me, AC. Since I met you, you never cease to amaze me. You had this stroke. You're partially paralyzed on the right side, but yet you still continue to thrive with your gift.
Amen. AC, I'll say this right now. You amaze me because so many times I'm ready to throw in the towel. I mean, I didn't have a stroke and I'm quitting. And here you are, following your passion, following your calling and thriving. So it's like, if he can't do it, why can't I? I have no excuses.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll tell you what, not many people know this, that I thank God every day, at least 10 times a day,
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yeah. Anyway, Fernando, anything else you want to cover with Amor Tejano?
Just look for us on all your major platforms. Divina Creación is the latest single. We have a couple more singles coming out and videos, and you can find me on TikTok. That's my new thing, man. I'm a TikTok famous guy.
Are you serious?
You can find me at Fernando Silva Soñador at TikTok. So
now,
looking forward to
I'm going to say this. I don't care who gets upset, gets their feelings hurt, but you are the original Soñador. Because you wrote the damn song, man. Come on now. Better recognize.
Thank you, well, it is what it is, and praise God.
Fernando, thanks again. Take care of yourself. By the way, are you guys going to be gigging?
Amor Tejano?
Yeah.
Yes, maybe not, because like I said, we're a project more than a band. We will be doing sporadic shows here and there when we can coordinate it, because my producer, he plays with David Lee Garza now, and he's always traveling,
Sure.
And my singer, Douglas Davila, big old shout out to my big brother there. He's the voice of the Catholic Charismatic Center in Houston, so he's always busy. He's actually the main musical minister there, and so yes, we will gig eventually, but there's not a rush. We're gonna take it and let go and let God, see what happens.
I want you to tell your wife, tell her that I said thank you, because she kind of ratted you out. She said, AC, my husband loves your shirt. It's so comfortable. When he received it, he never took it off.
Dude, I had it on today. I'm serious. I had it on. Of course, it's like 3 sizes too big for me now, but I had it on today. That's weird you mentioned that.
I love it. Tell your wife,
all right, brother.
Tell your wife, I said, thank you for letting you to come out and play with me, man.
Orale. She's going to tell you that the bill's on its way.
Take care, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
God bless you, brother. Bye-bye.
Checks in the mail, Ana. Oh, man, I love those two guys. Fernando Silva and his lovely wife, Ana. Want to thank Fernando for all the inspiration, to me at least. I'm 56 now, and he's been a friend of mine since I was 18. So we've been through some shit together. Shit that we won't tell anybody else. Well, thank you for being a friend, man. And congratulations on your project, Amor Tejano. Look out for it on all digital platforms. And keep us in the loop on the reunion of David Olivarez y Grupo XS. So we're out of here. We'll see you next season. Season 13. But gotta let you know that Tuesday is a special birthday celebration with the life and legacy of Emilio Navaira. It's his birthday on Tuesday. Following Sunday, it's another bonus episode. It's Jimmy Gonzalez's birthday, a special birthday tribute to Jimmy G. That's on Sunday, 28th. So if you like the podcast, tell your friends. If your friends don't like it, find new friends. So just chill till the next episode of the AC Cruise Podcast. Much love, be safe, God bless.